And we welcome you to the Xfinity Mobile Arena in Philadelphia, where we have NBA2K presents another exciting edition of the 2025-2026 NBA season playthrough here. The calendar date is December 11th, 2025, and we have a matchup between the Milwaukee Bucks and Philadelphia 76ers. You see the Sixers and the Bucks, you see they're right behind each other here. Sixers at 11-12 and the Bucks at 13-12. 5th and 6th on the season. 5th and 6th place in the Western Conference right now. We look at the starting lineups here. We have Cole Anthony and Gary Trent Jr. at the guards for the Bucks. The forwards, Kyle Kuzma and Giannis at power forward. And at center will be Miles Turner. And for the Sixers starting five, the two guards will be Kyle Lowry and Jarrett McCain. Lowry in for Tyrese Maxey, who's injured. Paul George, Kelly Oubre Jr., the forwards, and Joel Embiid at center for the 76ers here, as the Bucks do win the tip here. The Bucks coming around, they say Giannis with a dunk there. It's 2-0 Milwaukee early. Both teams have been featured. I know the Bucks were featured twice in schedule block number 1. The Sixers only featured once. The Bucks split both of their watched games in schedule block number 1, as the Sixers won their only one. And for the Bucks, they defeated Toronto in Toronto. You see Kuzma for 3. That is no good. But then actually had a 17-point lead against the Knicks to end schedule block number 1. You see Paul George there with the tie game, as we're a minute into the game. The Bucks had a 17-point lead early in the first quarter. Trent Jr. for 3. That is off, and Paul George with the rebound. Only to lose the game on a last-second buzzer, or a last-second shot by Jalen Brunson, to give the Knicks the win that ended schedule block number 1, as the Knicks were the last team to be featured in schedule block number 1, but they were already featured earlier in the schedule block. As you see Giannis there with the dunk, he has all 4 points so far for the Bucks. Kyle Lowry, as I said, getting the start in place of Tyrese Maxey. You see Paul George for 3. That is off the rim, and Giannis will get the rebound. Cole Anthony with it, with his team up by 2. So the Bucks are 1-1 in watch games. You see Gary Trent Jr. draining the 3 there. And the Bucks up by 5 early. The 76ers, though, I think trailed just like once or twice. I think it was like 2-0 and 5-4 against the Nets, and then they just ran away with it, winning by nearly 40 points. As Kelly Oubre Jr. getting the offensive rebound and the slam dunk there. So that is getting up to speed as far as how these teams have been on watched games and how it has been going for the season. As you see Giannis coming around. And he's going to go to the line and 1, as Kelly Oubre called for the shooting foul. Giannis with 6 points has a chance to make it a chance to get 7 points and put the Bucks up by 6 early in this game. Antetokounmpo. As I said, this is going to be a weird schedule because I did not use the NBA Cup. I'm not using the NBA Cup for my season playthrough here. And on this date, I believe they're in the middle of maybe I think the quarter or the semifinals of the NBA Cup. That in-season tournament, which if you watch my last video with the Kings and the Pacers, you heard my thoughts on that. And I'm still going to die on the hill that it's a participation trophy type thing. I mean, good marketing by the league, don't get me wrong. You see Embiid there with the shot. He's averaging 18.7 points per game for the Sixers. But I just don't feel like that it's really necessary. I mean, no way. I don't think any fans ever asked for this NBA Cup in-season tournament. You can poll 1,000 fans, I guarantee you 1,000 out of 1,000, as you see Gary Trent Jr. with the bucket there. Did not ask for the NBA Cup. There might be some that said they enjoy it. You see Paul George from the free throw line makes it. 4-point lead for the Bucks. As we're closing in on 4 minutes into this game here. Cole Anthony back over to Giannis. Giannis coming around. Giannis with the layup. That's good. I believe he now has 9 points in this game. Scored 9 of the 14 in the timeout is called. 7:59 to play in the first. 14-8 the Bucks on top, and we're going to stay for this timeout because for anybody who's new to this channel, I am V-Dub Productions. I do sports video games. As you are currently watching a NBA 2K presentation of the 2025-2026 season playthrough, where I play one game for every 2 to 3 calendar days. Play the game, go over the stats of the players, go over a post-game ticker, and then the injury report and any news and notes. And there is some news and notes because at the time that I'm recording this game, we had some news in the NBA where the New Orleans Pelicans fired head coach Willie Green, and well, I also opted to fire Willie Green in this universe as well. And I also do college football 26 content. I do between 3 to 4 simulation games. Those will not come out until Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday evening. So if I do 3, there'll be one on Wednesday, one on Thursday, one on Friday. And I usually wait until college football playoff rankings come out. As well as I'm doing a 28-team college football playoff every Wednesday at noon Eastern up until the selection Sunday, December 7th. I will be doing a college football projection bracket for my college football team bracket. And we had a couple of close calls today as far as, or at the time of this recording, as I'm doing this usually 2 days in advance, we had a couple of close calls this weekend. We had Texas A&M had to come back from 27 down to win against South Carolina, and then Michigan keeps their faint 12-team playoff hopes alive, and maybe even faint playoff hopes for my 28-team playoff. And see Embiid coming around, that is no good. Turner with the rebound, where they had to win on the last-second field goal. As Giannis there, I believe now he's at 11 in this game. Cole Anthony gets the assist there, and the Bucks are back up by 8. Might be their largest lead of the game. Passing it back over to Paul George here. 10 on the shot clock. George for 3. He drains it. And the Sixers are only down by 5 right now as we're 5 minutes into the game. Giannis with it. Back over to Kuzma. Kuzma for 3. That is off the iron, and Giannis will get the rebound. And he now has 13 of the 18 points so far for the Bucks in this game. So yeah, we had a little bit of an early crazy college football Saturday here. George for 3, that is off the iron, and Cole Anthony with the rebound here. I know we have a couple other big games in the top 11 where Alabama and Oklahoma are going at it actually early on. You see Miles Turner for 3, that is off the iron. Giannis with the offensive rebound. And now he's trying to get a screen out for Gary Trent Jr. Gary Trent Jr. gets some room. He'll shoot it. He drains it. And it's a 9-point lead. Gary Trent Jr. with 7 of the points. I believe that Giannis and Gary Trent Jr. scored every point so far for the Bucks. Embiid for 3. He misses that. Giannis Antetokounmpo will grab the rebound. Embiid, or no, George will get the steal there, but you see Embiid 1 of 5 for 2 points and a rebound. He's off. He's cold shooting so far. See Kyle Lowry with it. 10 on the shot clock. 5.5 to play in the first. Over. McCain for 3. That is off the iron, and Antetokounmpo will get the rebound there. Antetokounmpo coming around with a slam dunk. That might be 15 for him in this game already. I know he's... And you see Embiid coming around getting that pass, and he'll get the bucket. It's back to a 9-point game again. Giannis coming through. He had 48 in the loss against the Knicks in the last watch game. And he had his way throughout most of that game. You see Cole Anthony for three. That is off the iron. Embiid will get the rebound. Paul George coming around. He loses it. Kyle Kuzma will get the steal there. Kuzma with it. Coming down the court for a second. He'll take a stop for a second. Passing back to Giannis over to Cole Anthony. Back over to Giannis. Giannis coming around with the slam dunk. And we have a timeout called by the Philadelphia 76ers. 4:28 to play in the first. The Bucks up 24-13. We are going to take a break. And we are back here in Philadelphia. The Bucks off to a really strong start. You see Giannis coming back onto the court here. I believe he has 17 of the 24 points right now. Gary Trent Jr. also has the other 7. So 2 players are combining for the 24 points for the Milwaukee Bucks. As VJ Edgecombe is into the game now for the Philadelphia 76ers. He missed a little bit of time too. There's a 3-point. That is no good. Trent Jr. getting the rebound here. Bucks out rebounding 10-4. And they get that 10-5 now as McCain will get the rebound. McCain. Grimes into the game also for the Philadelphia 76ers. Over to Grimes. Grimes for 3. He drains it. It's back to a single-digit margin again. Antetokounmpo coming around. Passing it back over to Miles Turner. Back to Kuzma. Kuzma for 3. He drains it, and the Bucks are back on top by 11. And he is the first player not named Giannis or Gary Trent Jr. to score points for the Bucks in this first quarter. Edgecombe. And there is an illegal screen called against Quentin Grimes. That's his first personal, and that's going to be going the other way as we have some substitutions for the Bucks. Cole Anthony and Gary Trent Jr. going to the bench. I say Giannis with it. He has 17 of the 27 so far. A very strong first quarter by Giannis and the Bucks. Kuzma for 3. That is off the iron. Embiid will grab that rebound. You see McCain has it for the 76ers here going the other way. McCain for 3. That is off the iron. Giannis with it. Coming around now. Back over to Kuzma. Kuzma. Going through. Kuzma. Getting it up over to Porter Jr. Rollins at it. Rollins coming around. 3 on the shot clock. Rollins. Shot is up, and that is no good. Quentin Grimes grabbing the rebound for the Philadelphia 76ers. Oubre Jr. back over to Embiid. Embiid. Over to McCain. Over to Edgecombe. Edgecombe for 3. He drains it. VJ Edgecombe, the rookie, with his first points of the game, and it's back to an 8-point game again. Kyle Kuzma back over to Rollins. We're holding on to it. 12 on the shot clock. Back over to Giannis. Giannis coming through, passing it over to Kuzma. Kuzma for 3. That is off too strong as Kelly Oubre Jr. will grab the rebound. McCain with it. Kuzma, 3 points on 1 of 5 shooting and a steal. Edgecombe pass it over to Oubre Jr. 10 on the shot clock. Oubre Jr. for 3. That is off the iron. Rollins will get the rebound. Rollins back over to Giannis. Said Giannis with 17 points so far in this quarter. Giannis has it again. He had 48, as I said, in that last watched game. Giannis coming around, and Giannis with the slam dunk. He has 19 points so far in this first quarter, 10 of them mid-range. Gary Trent has 7, and Kuzma, the only other player that's on the score sheet. They see Embiid misses a rebound. Kuzma gets the rebound. Back over to Porter Jr. Porter Jr. to Kuzma. Kuzma for 3. That is off the iron. Grimes has it. Back over to McCain. 43 seconds to play in the first quarter. 10-point lead for the Bucks. Over to Edgecombe. Edgecombe for 3. That is off as Turner will grab the rebound here. Under 30 seconds to play. Porter Jr. for 3. That is wide, but you see Giannis grabbing it. The rebound keeps the possession alive. 8 to shoot for Kuzma. Kuzma will get the jump shot. That is no good. Kelly Oubre Jr. with the rebound. Shot clock turned off. Rebounds 15-10 in favor of the Bucks. So we got 10 seconds before the end of the quarter here. Oubre Jr. back over to Grimes. Grimes to Embiid. Embiid passes up the shot. McCain will get the shot up. That is good. Jared McCain with a three. And that is how the first quarter will come to an end. Giannis with 19 points leading the way. The Bucks leading the 76ers 29-22. We'll be back to start the second quarter. You're watching NBA 2K on Vita Productions. Back here in the start the second quarter here. You see Andre Drummond inbounding it to Paul George here. 76ers trailing by 7 right now. Paul George for three. That is off the iron. Andre Drummond with the rebound. Edwards for three. That is off the iron. Portis Jr. with the rebound, heading over to Porter Jr. Porter Jr. with it. Says 13 on the shot clock right now. Passing it over. And they're going to lose that, and that's going to go out of bounds. There's going to be a turnover either way. You see Doc Rivers not happy there with that turnover. You look at some of those stats there, averaging 11.9 turnovers a game. You look at those little statistics here. We got some substitutions coming in. Smith into the game very early, leaving now. 32 seconds into the second quarter. You see Paul George for three. He drains it. It's only a 4-point game. You see Rollins, Taurean Prince inbounding it over to Rollins. Over there, Sims. Sims will get the dunk. And the Bucks are back on top by 6. They led by as many as 11 in that first quarter. Edgecombe for the rookie. He had a three-pointer earlier in this game. He'll come around with the layup, and it's back to a 4-point game again. Porter Jr. has it as he's crossing the half-court line. So we're over a minute into the first quarter. 31-27, Bucks on top. They have not trailed in this game. They've been tied at 2. You see Portis Jr. No, he misses that. Andre Drummond grabbing the rebound. Edwards with it. Back over to Paul George. George coming around with the layup. That is in. It's only a 2-point game. In the last game the 76ers played, they had 24 assists to only 8 turnovers, and there's a three-pointer there. Porter Jr. with the three-pointer there, and it's back to a 5-point lead again as we're approaching 2 minutes into the second quarter. Edgecombe for three. That is off the iron. Sims will get the rebound. See Porter Jr. with it. Coming around. Porter Jr. with it. 10 on the shot clock. Coming around. That is no good. Grimes will grab the rebound. And you see here back over to Paul George here. 15 on the shot clock. George with a jumper. That is off the iron. Too strong. Porter Jr. will grab the rebound there. And look at that alley-oop there. Kevin Porter Jr. with the assist on that to Sims. It's a 7-point lead for the Bucks again. As I said, they led by as many as 11. Edgecombe with the layup. Keeping the game to within 5. As I said earlier before the recording of this game, the Pelicans announced they fired head coach Willie Green. That is in actual NBA. So news and notes, of course, you're going to be seeing that. I'm also made sure the Pelicans fired Green as well. As you see, there is a jump shot there, and the Bucks are back up on top by 7 here, approaching 3.5 to play, into the second quarter, I should say. Paul George, 20 points, 3 rebounds in their win against the Lakers in their last game. That's a miss, as you see Sims will grab the rebound for the Bucks. Taurean Prince has it for the Bucks, back over to Portis Jr. Prince has it again, and we're seeing some Bucks players eagerly waiting to come back into the game. Portis Jr. coming around, and he'll be fouled. Paul George called for his first, and we'll have a timeout. We're going to take a timeout as well. Bucks on top by 7. We'll be back. You're watching NBA 2K on Vita Productions. And we are back here in Philadelphia. It's a 7-point lead for the Bucks. Here you see Cole Anthony coming back into the game for the Bucks, averaging 12.6 points per season. But you see the last few games he's averaging over 17 points a game. Portis Jr. onto the line now to shoot two, as he was fouled before the timeout. And he'll make the first one. You see Portis Jr. coming back with it again. He's going to try to shoot the second one. And the Bucks are back on top by 9. Drummond will inbound it to Kyle Lowry. Again, who's getting the start in favor of Tyrese Maxey, who's out. McCain for 3. He drains it. It's a 6-point game. Giannis back into the game now. He had a 19-point first quarter over to Trent Jr. Give it over to Giannis. Giannis coming around. Jump. Shot up. That's too strong. George will get the rebound. 40-34. The Bucks on top. Have not trailed in this game, but they've been tied once at 2. Lowry passing it over to Drummond. Drummond. He's going to get that shot up. That is no good. Portis Jr. will get the rebound. Cole Anthony now has it for the Bucks. Over to Giannis. Giannis with the shot. That is no good. George with another rebound. Giannis is 0 for 2 so far in the second quarter. McCain. Passing it back over here. You see McCain for 3. That is off the iron. Drummond thought he had the offensive rebound, and he loses control of it, and the ball is going to go to the Bucks here. We look at their upcoming schedule. They're home to the Kings and the Raptors, at Minnesota, and then at the Pacers for the next 4 games. Minnesota off to a really hot start, actually, in this universe here. They are 22-2. Both Milwaukee and Philadelphia are off to good starts right now in real life. See Giannis passing it back over to Kuzma. Kuzma coming around 4. And Kyle Kuzma with the points there. And the Bucks are back on top by 8. George for 3. That is off the iron, but Quentin Grimes will get the rebound there. McCain has it. 10 on the shot clock. Passing back over to Embiid. Embiid for 3. He drains it. It's a 5-point game now for the Bucks. I believe that's as close as they have been to 76ers since the you see Gary Trent Jr. for 3. That's off the iron. George will get the rebound. Since the Bucks went up by 11 early in the game. George passing it back over to Embiid. Embiid with the layup. It's a 3-point game. 12 assists already for the 76ers. Are averaging 25.2 in this season play through 14th in the league. Back over to Giannis. Trent Jr. had it, and he's going to lose it as McCain will get the steal. Jared McCain back over to Kyle Lowry. 5 minutes to play in the third. Lowry, that is off. No good. Kuzma grabbing the rebound. Kuzma back over to Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony to Gary Trent Jr. Back over to Antetokounmpo. That is off the iron, no good. Grimes will get the rebound. McCain with it. Passing over to Embiid. Embiid back over to Lowry. Lowry to Grimes. Grimes for 3. That is off the iron. Kyle Kuzma grabbing the rebound here. 4.5 to play in the second. Giannis with it. Coming around. Giannis with a slam dunk. He has 21. His last game a loss to the Pistons. He had 18 and 10. 18 points and 10 assists. He has 21 in this game, and I think he's been a watched game. He's definitely been a watched game monster in this game because he had 44. I think he had over 40 points in the first game. You see, he's going to get the assist there. No, he will not because McCain called for the foul and he missed that. But Gary Trent Jr. is going to go to the line for 2 here with under 4 minutes to play in the second. The Bucks up by 3. You see Gary Trent Jr. is going to take 2 shots here. 44-41, Bucks on top. As I said, the Bucks that were shown twice in schedule block number 1, they split both their games. They had a 17-point lead in the final game of schedule block number 1 before the Knicks scratched and clawed their way back, and on a Jalen Brunson shot with .2 left, won the game for the Knicks. And then the Knicks early on in schedule block number 2 had their game. They won in a runaway game against the Celtics. The Knicks are 2-0. Both teams featured for the first time in schedule block number 2. As you see, 5 of 5 for the Bucks. The Sixers have not gotten to the line yet in this game. Both teams featured for schedule block number 2. The Sixers in their only game won in a laughter against the Brooklyn Nets. See McCain back over to Lowry. 2 on the shot clock. 1 3-point. That is good. That is Quentin Grimes with the 3. That's a 2-point lead for the Bucks here. The Sixers have not led in this game yet. As you see, Antetokounmpo coming around with a slam dunk. That's 23 for him in this game. 48-44, the Bucks on top now. Under 3 minutes until halftime. Back over to Kyle Lowry. Lowry has it for the 76ers. Back to McCain. McCain. There's a jumper. That is good. It's a 2-point lead. 2:35 left in the second quarter. 2-point lead for the Bucks. Giannis with a slam dunk, and he's starting to heat up in this quarter. And you see the AT&T connected cam. Look at that one-handed jam there. 25 points in this game for... He has scored half the points for the Bucks in this game. Grimes with it. Coming around, Quentin Grimes. There he goes, Quentin Grimes with the bucket, and it's back to a 2-point game again as we are heading towards 2 minutes to play until halftime. Kuzma with it. Coming through, Kuzma for 3. That is off the iron. McCain grabs the rebound for the Sixers. A chance for the Sixers to either tie or take the lead on a 3. McCain back over to Joel Embiid. Embiid coming through. There's a shot. 3-point attempt. That's good! And for the first time in this game, the 76ers are on top, 51-50. Under a minute and a half to play until halftime. Cole Anthony for 3. He drains it, and the Bucks are back on top. Are we going to start having me being an auctioneer? Who knows? But timeout, 76ers. Minute 16 left until halftime. 53-51 Milwaukee. We're going to take a break. You're watching NBA 2K on Vita Productions. And we are back here in Philadelphia. 2-point lead for the Bucks. A minute 16 until halftime here. We look at the league leaders in field goal percentage this season. You see Giannis with over 62%. 5th in the league for this season playthrough here. Embiid takes the inbound from Grimes. Oh no, that wasn't Grimes. That was Oubre Jr. Never mind. You see Embiid coming around, and we are tied. It's actually only the second tie of this game, by the way. Oubre will get the assist there. Antetokounmpo coming around. There's Antetokounmpo passing it over to Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony with a jump shot. That is good, and the Bucks are back on top. Antetokounmpo with the assist there as Embiid with it. Back over to McCain. Back over to George. Paul George for 3. That is off the iron, and Turner will get the rebound there. Embiid with it. Giannis, as I said, has 25 points in there. 10 on the shot clock. Coming around here, Giannis with it. Passing over to Kuzma. Kuzma for three. He drains it. It's a 5-point lead for the Bucks here. Under 5 until halftime. Embiid getting a shot up. That is no good, and that's where we end the first half. The Sixers have crawled their way. They actually had the lead for a brief bit, but it's the Milwaukee Bucks going into halftime with a 5-point lead. We're gonna take a break for the halftime report. You're watching NBA 2K on V-Dub Production. See you guys in the second half. And we are back here to start the second half in Milwaukee, in Philadelphia, I should say. Milwaukee up 58-53. See Giannis Antetokounmpo, 25 points. He only had 6 in the second quarter, but he sat out through the first half of the second quarter. Very strong first quarter, I should say, and we see the 76ers getting ready to inbound it. Paul George back over to Lowry. Lowry back to McCain. As you see, the starting 5 out for the 76ers here. I believe the Bucks also have the starting 5 out as well. You see Gary Trent Jr. And that's stolen by Oubre Jr. Lowry with it, passing it back over to... Was that Embiid that had a shot, but he misses that as Antetokounmpo will grab the rebound. 25 points for him. Kuzma for 3. He drains it. It's an 8-point lead for the Bucks. Kyle Kuzma had 8 in that first half. He's now at 11 after that 3. So 45 seconds into the second half here. 61-53, the Bucks on top. Lowry has it. I said Kyle Lowry gets the start in place of Tyrese Maxey. As you see, Embiid for 3. That is off the iron. Cole Anthony grabbing the rebound. Rebounds 26-19 in favor of the 76ers as Paul George is called for the foul. That's his second in the second for reach-in. Kuzma will inbound it. Back over to Anthony. Cole Anthony back to Giannis. 9 to shoot. Coming over. Giannis. His first points in the second half. He has 27 in this game, and the Bucks are on top by 10 again. Embiid. There's a jumper over there. That is no good. Giannis with the rebound. Kyle Kuzma. Joel Embiid, 13 points in this game on 6 of 15 shooting, only 1 for 6 for 3. Giannis coming around. He's going to get the bucket again. It's a 12-point lead, the largest lead of the game for the Bucks. He has 29 so far. As I said, he's been a watch game master. George for 3. Paul George will drain that 3. It's a 9-point game. .940 to play in the third. See Cole Anthony with it. Back over to Giannis. Giannis coming through. Back over to Trent Jr. Trent Jr. for three. That is off the iron. Embiid will grab the rebound. Kyle Lowry. Back over to Embiid. Embiid for three. That is off the iron. Antetokounmpo will grab the rebound. Kuzma with it. Trent Jr. has it. Trent Jr. with the bucket. Gary Trent Jr. with 11 points in this game, and the lead is back up to 11. Timeout for the Philadelphia 76ers here. 8:55 to play. 67-56. Bucks on top. We're going to take a timeout. You're watching NBA 2K on VW Productions. And we are back here in Philadelphia. 8:55 to play in the third quarter. An 11-point lead. You see Coach Nick Nurse trying to get his team up and motivated here as they're trailing by 11. Kelly Oubre Jr. is set to inbound it over to Kyle Lowry. It looks like he went out for a second. Lowry back to McCain, over to Paul George. Paul George had 12 in that first half. Passes it over to McCain, 6 on the shot clock. Over Lowry for three. He drains it. Kyle Lowry brings the 76ers to within 8 here as we were 3.5 into the third quarter. Giannis with it. Back over to Kuzma. Giannis has 29 points in this game. Kuzma for three. That is off the iron. Embiid grabbing the rebound here. Lowry. I said Kyle Kuzma has 11 points for the Bucks, I should say. Gary Trent Jr. the same. Lowry holding on to it now. 6 on the shot clock. 4-3. That is off the iron. Kyle Kuzma grabbing the rebound. Kuzma back over to Gary Trent Jr. Passing back over to Cole Anthony, over to Kuzma. Kuzma for three. That is off the iron. Miles Turner will get the rebound, passing to Gary Trent Jr. In and out, and McCain will grab the rebound for the Bucks. Jarrett McCain coming through. 15 on the shot clock. Back over to Lowry for three. That is off the iron. Kuzma getting the rebound for the Milwaukee Bucks. Kuzma coming over through. Kuzma with it. That is a failed alley-oop attempt. Oubre will get the control of it. You see Paul George with it now. George inside. There's a bucket there. It's a 6-point game. That is 17 points for Paul George. Antetokounmpo passing over to Gary Trent Jr. for three. That is off the iron. Paul George getting the rebound. McCain for three. He drains it. It's only a 3-point game again. Milwaukee goes up on top by double digits, but Philadelphia always seems to be fighting back in this game, not going away very quietly here. Gary Trent Jr. Has it over to Giannis. Giannis coming around. That is off the iron. Embiid will grab the rebound. Kyle Lowry had a chance to possibly tie this game. Oubre Jr. over to Embiid. Embiid back to McCain. McCain for three. We have a tied game here as we are now halfway through the third quarter. We're all tied up at 67. I believe this is probably the third tie of the game. Sixers only had a lead only once in this game. Timeout Milwaukee. 5:52 to play in the third. We are tied up. Philadelphia on an 11-0 run. We're going to take a break. You're watching NBA 2K on VW Productions. And we are back here in Philadelphia. We are tied at 67. The 76ers are currently on an 11-0 run to tie the game up. So we got some substitutions and some position changes for both teams right now, as we see Kyle Kuzma set to inbound, and he'll pass it over to Anthony on the inbound here. Miles Turner with it. Miles Turner back over to Gary Trent Jr. Kuzma for three. That is off the iron. Grimes will grab the rebound for the 76ers. No points in the last 3.5 minutes here. Back over to George, passing over to Oubre Jr. to Embiid. Embiid. That is off the iron, and Portis Jr. will get the rebound. Over to Kuzma. Kuzma passing back over to Miles Turner. Turner. That shot is good, and that will end the drought. Bucks back on top by 2 here as we're approaching 5 minutes left in the third quarter. 2-point lead for Milwaukee. George for 3. That is off the iron. Miles Turner grabbing the rebound. Kuzma with it. Kyle Kuzma. That is no good. Kelly Oubre Jr. grabbing the rebound. Back over to McCain. Over to Grimes. Grimes for 3. He drains it, and the 76ers are back on top for the second time in this game. It's a 1-point lead for Philadelphia. 4:35 to play in the third. 70-69, the Sixers on top. Gary Trent Jr. back over to Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony. It's good, and Cole Anthony puts the Bucks back on top by 1. George with it. They see Embiid. Embiid with a shot. That is too strong. Anthony will grab the rebound for the Bucks. 4 minutes of play in the third. Milwaukee up by 1. Nice pass. As you see, Miles Turner with the slam dunk. Cole Anthony getting the assist there, and the Bucks are back on top by 3. See Quentin Grimes passing over to Joel Embiid. 10 on the shot clock. Embiid, 5 to shoot. There's 3. There's a big jump shot there. That is no good. Gary Trent Jr. with the rebound. Back over to Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony passing back over to Portis Jr. Back to Miles Turner. Kuzma for 3. He drains it. 7 quick points for the... Or no, 8. Yeah, 7 quick points. And just like that, it's a 6-point lead again for the Milwaukee Bucks. Embiid for 3. That is off the iron. Kuzma with the rebound. See Portis Jr. coming around with it. Portis Jr. back over to Gary Trent Jr. 6 on the shot clock. Portis Jr. will miss that one. 2.5 to play in the third. 6-point lead for Milwaukee. McCain passing it back over to Embiid. 9 on the shot clock. Thought about the shot for a second, didn't take it. Now we're down to under 5 on the shot clock. Embiid having it. 2-1. Embiid has to get that shot up. That's no good. Portis Jr. getting the rebound from Milwaukee here. 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Kuzma coming around with it. Back over to Miles Turner. Turner to Anthony. Cole Anthony for 3. He drains it. It's a 10-0 run. Or a 12-3 run, we should say. And there's a bucket. That is no good. If you want to think about 12-3 run from the timeout when we were tied at 67, but if you're looking at it from when the 76ers grabbed the lead for a short period of time, that's 10 straight points. And you see Grimes for 3. That will end the drought, and we'll have a timeout by Milwaukee here. 75 seconds left to play in the third quarter. They're leading at 79-73. We're going to take a break. You're watching NBA 2K on VW Productions. Back here in Philadelphia, the Bucks on top, 79-73. So the Bucks had an 11 or 12-point lead actually in this third quarter. 76ers made a comeback. They went back up by 2. They had a tie game. Went back up by 1, I should say. They only led twice in this game, and both of them by 1 point. Rollins into the game. Taurean Prince for 3. He drains it. It's back to a 9-point game again. If you want to look at it, it's a 15-6 run since the tie game when the Sixers went on an 11-0 run to tie the game at 67. They had to lead 70-69. Since then, it's been a 13-3 run. You see the three-pointer there. That is no good. But if you want to look at it from the timeout when the game was tied, yeah, 15-6. And make that 18-6 as Taurean Prince has hit back-to-back threes. 3-point field goal, 5 of 17 for the Bucks, and the 76ers shooting 9 of 29. Edgecombe with his team trailing by 12. George for 3. That is off the iron. Prince with the rebound. Give it back over to Giannis. Giannis has 29 in this game. Holding on for the last shot, seems like. Giannis coming around. Inside the paint. That shot is no good, and that will do it for the third quarter here. Milwaukee was down by 1, but they started shooting lights out again. They're now up by 12 at the end of 3. Coming back to start the fourth quarter right after this. You're watching NBA 2K on Vita Productions. Before we start the fourth quarter, we're going to look at the State Farm assist of the game. And that was the alley-oop in the first half there. You see Giannis going to inbound it over to Rollins. Giannis had a 19-point first quarter, but he's only had 10 points since then, but he's had some time on the bench. See Torian Prince still out there. He had himself the last couple of, see, Portis Jr. for 3. He drains it. Or no, that's Kevin Porter Jr. Never mind. That is Porter Jr. to Sims on that assist of the game, by the way. 15-point lead for the Bucks here. McCain for 3. He drains it. It's back to a 12-point game again. Remember, the Bucks had a 17-point lead in the first quarter. In the last watch game, you see Giannis back to Portis Jr. Yeah, that's Portis Jr. this time. Giannis with the assist there. I think he's just going to spread the wealth. 90-76. Lowry for 3. That is off the iron. Portis Jr. will grab the rebound. You see Rollins with it. Rollins coming around. Back over to Porter Jr. Over to Antetokounmpo. Antetokounmpo pass it over to Rollins. Rollins will give it up. Porter Jr. for 3. No, he's in the line. Never mind. 16-point lead. Largest lead of the game for the Bucks. Andre Drummond passing over to McCain. McCain back over to Grimes. Grimes! That is no good. Torian Prince will get the rebound. Back over to Antetokounmpo. Antetokounmpo will make the bucket. He has 31 in this game. $18-point lead for Milwaukee now. Let's see, McCain has it for the 76ers. 10 on the shot clock. McCain. 5 on the shot clock. And there's a layup attempt there. No good. Porter Jr. grabbing the rebound. Back over to Giannis. Giannis coming around. He'll lose it. Lowry will get it. Back over to McCain. McCain with the slam dunk. 16-point lead again. Or deficit to 16 again. 9-10 to play in the fourth. Giannis with 31 points in this game. Passing it back over to Prince. Back to Giannis. Over to Portis Jr. with the layup. That is good. Milwaukee leading it by 18 again. See McCain coming through. As McCain will get the layup. That is good, and we'll have a timeout. Jared McCain with 21 points. He has 7 so far in this fourth quarter, and we are going to keep it at this timeout because when this game comes to an end, we are not done yet. Don't forget, we still have stats as well as the post-game ticker, injury report, and of course now we do have some news and notes. Of course, we're talking about the firing of Willie Green from New Orleans, which happened right a few hours before I started recording this game. And Of course, I try to keep as much as I can with the realism of this. So, of course, I also fired him. We'll find out who's replacing him in this universe, because I know we don't have real-life assistants in this game. And also to remind you that the next game coming up, we are heading to Chi-Town. The calendar for that game will be December 13th, 2025. And that will be between the Charlotte Hornets and the Chicago Bulls. Both teams making their, I believe it's their second appearance, both teams. First time in schedule block number 2. Both teams lost their only watch game appearance in schedule block number 1 as we are heading back out of the timeout. So the next game coming up, the Hornets at the Bulls on December 13th, 2025. Kuzma will inbound it to Giannis here. Giannis didn't really have to do that much after that first quarter. And I would love to say they've been in control the whole game, but they really haven't, because they allowed the 76ers to come back. You see Kevin Porter Jr. with the 3. That's a 19-point lead for the Bucks. As you see McCain coming around with the bucket, that's good. He has 23 for the 76ers here. And don't forget, everybody, I do have College Football 26 content as well. You see Giannis with the bucket, that's good. He has 33 in this game. I do College Football 26 content. Those come out for the simulation games. Those will come out on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I actually do a live premiere for those. That's a miss by McCain as Giannis will grab the rebound here. I said 33 points for him. Porter Jr. No, that's Portis. Yeah, that is Porter Jr. with the bucket there. And the Bucks actually are in the century mark. I didn't realize that. It's a 21-point lead. They're largest of the game. Back over to Lowry. Lowry has it again here. Back over to McCain. Under 8 to shoot on the shot clock. McCain with the shot. That is off the iron. Antetokounmpo will grab the rebound. Antetokounmpo with it. Coming through. Pass it over to Portis Jr. Portis Jr. is rejected, and I believe that was Drummond with the block. However, it was last off of Philadelphia, so Milwaukee will retain possession. Portis Jr. getting rejected. As Drummond's like, not in my house. Substitutions being made by both teams. See Drummond going back to the bench here. 6:47 left in the fourth. 10 on the shot clock. Kuzma back over to Gary Trent Jr. Passing over to Kyle Kuzma. 5 on the shot clock. Back to Giannis. Giannis with the layup. That is good. He has 35 in this game. And the lead is now 23 for the Bucks. As you see Kyle Lowry going over to Joel Embiid. Back over to Lowry. 8 on the shot clock. Lowry for 3. That is off the iron, and Antetokounmpo will grab the rebound. Giannis with it as we're approaching halfway through the fourth quarter. 23-point lead for the Milwaukee Bucks here. 7 on the shot clock. Ooh, look at that nice screen as it passes over to Gary Trent Jr. for 3. He drains it. 26-point lead for the Milwaukee Bucks here. Almost academic, I can tell you that right now. Almost academic. You see Lowry for 3. That is off the iron as Gary Trent Jr. coming around with it. No points in 2 minutes and 45 seconds for the Philadelphia 76ers. You see Antetokounmpo. That's a weird shot. It almost went in, though. You see Paul George grabbing the rebound. Back over to Lowry Jr. Or Kyle Lowry. Why did I say junior? A lot of juniors, but Lowry is not a junior. He could be, but it's not on his thing. So Anthony coming around. Kyle Kuzma loses it. Paul George with the theft. Kelly Oubre Jr., jumper. That is no good. Antetokounmpo grabbing the rebound here. 4:45 left in this game. Cole Anthony. He's coming. He's just holding on to it right now. Is see Giannis with it. They might just be playing keep away right now, being up by 26. Giannis passing over to Kuzma. Kuzma for three. That is off the iron. Embiid will grab the rebound. See here, Paul George with it. Paul George, no good. Giannis will grab the rebound. He's definitely double-double, I know that. Passing over to Trent Jr. Trent Jr. for three. That is off the iron, and Paul George with the rebound. Under 4 to play. Embiid with the slam dunk, and he's gonna be called. He's gonna go to the line. Kyle Kuzma
Defensive foul. Kyle Kuzma
will be called.
Personal foul. First team foul.
No, it wasn't Kuzma. Kuzma's going to. No, Kuzma is called for the foul. That is Embiid going to the line. I'm sorry, I was confused for a second. Embiid misses it. Portis Jr. will grab the rebound. Taurean Prince had 2 big three-pointers in that early third quarter. You see Portis Jr., he's going to go to the line. No, that's goaltending. Embiid misses a field goal, and now he gets called for the goaltending. I thought that was a foul for a second. The lead is back up to 26. See, back over to Joel Embiid. Embiid was at the line the last time. He'll go back to the line this time as Bobby Portis Jr.
Personal foul. Second team foul. At the line for Philadelphia, Joel Embiid.
Embiid will be there for 2. As I said, the next game will be in Chi-Town, where the Bulls will play host to the Hornets. The calendar date for that game will be December 13th, 2025. I know that's probably not the actual scheduled game, but as I said, I do not do the NBA Cup, so schedule has been adjusted just for a little bit. Embiid does make the first one. He makes the second one. Rollins has it for the Bucks. Looks like the Bucks will most likely go to 2-1 in watched games. Porter Jr. for 3. That is off the iron, no good. You see Paul George with it. Coming through, Paul George with the bucket. That is up, no good. Portis Jr. will grab the rebound. You see Porter Jr. has it. Neither team is going to be making another appearance in schedule block number 2. So it's going to be a while before we see either of these two teams again. Porter Jr. for 3, and it's a 27-point lead. I believe that's now their largest lead of the game. It is pretty quiet here at the Xfinity Mobile Center here as we are 2:20 to play in the 4th. Embiid coming around. That is no good. Portis Jr. will grab the rebound. Porter Jr. now has it. Portis Jr. for 3. He will drain it. It's a 30-point lead as we're down to the game's final 2 minutes. That was a big pass there, and Sixers will retain possession here.
Number 21, Tyler Smith.
Sims, I believe, is back into the game now. He was in there earlier in the first half. Be interesting how many players have played. Lowry has it for the 76ers here, 14 on the shot clock. And there is an illegal screen called against Joel Embiid. That's his first personal. Does not go against the team foul, which really doesn't matter anyway because there's only 30-point lead here. A minute 45 to play. It's a very quiet Xfinity Mobile Center here. Portis Jr. back over to Rollins. Portis Portis Jr. back over to Torian Prince. Back over to Rollins here. Rollins will just take a very awkward three here. George with the rebound. Minute 20 to play in the fourth. George passing it back over to Oubre Jr. Back over to Lowry. Lowry with a jumper. That is off the no good. Porter Jr. with it. See fans starting to file out in this arena here. Under 60 seconds to play. And it is academic here as the Bucks are going to walk away with the win. Up by 30. I don't think anything's going to really happen here. So the Bucks will eventually improve to 14-12. The Sixers fall to 11-13. The Bucks will improve to 2-1 in watch games. You see Lowry for three. That is off. Embiid with the slam dunk. Sat padding from here on out for the rest of the game. Porter Jr. with it for the fourth. Back over to Portis Jr. And that will do it there. Shot clock turned off. Lowry has it. They might want to try to see if they can get into the 90s here, but they might just hold on to it here. 2-1. And that's going to do it here. And that's the end of the game. Milwaukee, I did not lead wire to wire. There's a couple times where the Sixers had to lead. But it was a mostly dominant effort by the Milwaukee Bucks. They walk out on top, 116-88 winners. As I said, the Bucks will move to 14-12 in the season playthrough. The 76ers fall to 11-13. The Bucks go to 2-1 in watched games, while the 76ers will fall to 1-1. And stay tuned, everybody. We are not done yet, as we'll be watching the player, find out who the player of the game is, and then we'll go over the stats. Go to the statistics for the players. Starting off with the home team, the Philadelphia 76ers. We had Jarrett McCain, 23 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, and a steal. Joel Embiid, 19 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. Paul George had 17 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals. Just shy of a double-double. Same with Embiid. Quentin Grimes off the bench, 14 points, 5 rebounds. The rookie, VJ Edgecombe, had 7 points in the game. Kyle Lowry, 6 points, 1 rebound, 8 assists, and a steal. He started, of course, because Tyrese Maxey is out. Kelly Oubre Jr. only 2.7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. Andre Drummond only had 2 rebounds and an assist. Justin Edwards only had 1 assist. Dominic Barlow, Hunter Salas, Jabari Walker, Adam Bona, Eric Gordon, Trenton Watford, all did not play for the Philadelphia 76ers in this game. And now for the victorious Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo, player of the game. He was just shy, 1 assist shy of a triple-double. He had 35 points, 15 rebounds, and 9 assists. Kevin Porter Jr. off the bench, 16 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Gary Trent Jr., 14 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist. Kyle Kuzma, 14 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. Bobby Portis Jr. also had a good game off the bench, 13 points, 8 rebounds. Cole Anthony, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. That's 6 players in double figures for the Milwaukee Bucks. Torian Prince had 6 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists. That was definitely a good game for him for 13 minutes off the bench. 2 big 3-pointers in that third quarter. Miles Turner, 4 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Jericho Sims, 4 points and 2 rebounds. Ryan Rollins only had 2 rebounds, 5 assists. Tyler Smith, nothing in 3 minutes of play. Chris Livingston had no points. We had Andre Jackson Jr., AJ Green. We're not talking about the former Bengal wide receiver. Amir Coffey. Those 3 did not play for the Milwaukee Bucks. And those are your statistics for this game. It's now time for the post-game ticker brought to you by 2K Sports, and it's going to be a pretty light one again. Only 2 days to go through, but only 10 games combined for the 2 days here. We start off with the remaining games on Thursday, December 11th, 2024, or 2025, I should say. In Motown, the Pistons, 109-84 winners over the Atlanta Hawks. I can tell you the Pistons are a lot better in real life than they are in this universe right now. The Bucks, as we just watched, all over the Philadelphia 76ers, 116-88. Mavericks get their 12th win of the season, 111-104 winners over the Phoenix Suns. And, of course, we knew that GM Nico Harrison was fired just a few days ago. The Wizards, 90-79 winners over the Indiana Pacers. Both teams are better in this universe. I mean, they're not good, but they're better in this universe than they are in real life. I can tell you that right now. The Rockets hand the Timberwolves their third loss of the season, winning 116-113 winners in at home. Rockets are now 15-7 on the season. The Lakers will get their 16th win of the season, winning 129-116 over the New Orleans Pelicans. The Knicks continue to be the best team in the Eastern Conference. They go to 21-3 with a 113-108 winner over the over the Miami Heat, I should say. They are now only half a game out for the best record in the NBA. And lastly for this day, the Clippers send the Utah Jazz to a league worst 2-22. They went 143-125 in Salt Lake City. And now for Friday, December 12, 2025. As I said, this was a lighter schedule. Only 2 games on this night because, as I said, this is most likely because I don't do the NBA Cup. So the 2 games here, we got Milwaukee Bucks winning another game, 116-88. Very exact scores, but the only difference this time, they were at home. They beat the Kings by that score. And then we have the Toronto Raptors all over the Portland Trailblazers, 134-100. And that is your post-game ticker. As my buddy RJL Network would say, if your team won, congratulations. If not, there's always tomorrow. It is now time to look at the injury reports for the games played after December 12, 2025. Tyrese Maxey still day-to-day for the 76ers. Nothing for the Bucks, nothing for the Bulls. Cavaliers, Jarrett Allen as Max Struss is back in the lineup. Jarrett Allen still out 4 to 6 months with his injury. Jason Tatum still out 4 to 6 months, as well as 4 to 6 weeks for Jaylen Brown. Chris Paul still under the recovery list. He's day-to-day with that broken left finger. Grizzlies, nothing to report. Zachary Risage, still 1 to 2 weeks. He's still out for another 1 to 2 weeks, I should say. Terry Rozier still suspended indefinitely with Tyler Hero back on the injured list, out 1 to 2 weeks. Hornets, no injury. Jazz, no injuries. Sacramento Kings, Domantas Sabonis out 4 to 6 weeks. He could be on the trade block, but it's going to be very difficult to trade him while he is injured. I'm going to tell you that right now. Let me see. Gavashan Yavasili out still 4 to 6 weeks. Mitchell Robinson day-to-day. He's recovering. Rui Hachimura still out 1 to 2 weeks for the Lakers. The Magic, Jalen Suggs out 6 to 8 weeks. De Silva day-to-day, while Wendell Carter Jr., he's now status recovering. He's day-to-day. Dante Exum still out 2 to 4 weeks. Thompson out 1 to 2 weeks. Derek Lively still day-to-day. And as I said, look at Kyrie Irving recovering. Sore left knee now. No longer ACL, but sore left knee. He is day-to-day. We could possibly see him because this Mavericks do have one more game left. One more game. They will be shown one more time in schedule block number 2. Nets, no injuries. Aaron Gordon still out 1 to 2 weeks for the Nuggets. Halliburton, we know he's out for the season. Pelicans, no injuries. Jaden Ivey out 2 to 4 months. Raptors, no injuries. Rockets, Fred VanVleet, we know is out for the season. Clint Capella now out 1 to 2 weeks. The twisted right knee. De'Aaron Fox is still out 2 to 4 weeks for the Spurs. Suns, no injuries. Hartenstein for the Thunder still out 6 to 8 weeks. Julius Randle still out 2 to 4 months, with Dante DiVincenzo still has another 1 to 2 weeks on his injury. And the only one for the Portland Trailblazers now is Damian Lillard, but he's out for the season with that torn left Achilles. Stephen Curry out another 1 to 2 weeks, as well as Podziemski for the Warriors. He's day-to-day still. Cam Whitmore still out 6 to 8 weeks with a torn right meniscus for the Wizards. And that is your injury report for the games played after December 12th, 2025. And a reminder, everybody, that the next game coming up will feature the Charlotte Hornets at the Chicago Bulls. I believe this is the only time both teams are going to be featured in schedule block number 2. Both teams did lose their first watched game. You had Charlotte losing to the Hawks, and then you had the Bulls losing to the Magic. However, the Bulls are a little bit better right now at 14-9 on this season playthrough, while the Hornets are at a lowly 7-18 on this season playthrough. However, anything can happen on these season playthroughs. And that will do it. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to hit that like, comment, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, as well as hit the bell icon to receive notifications for the videos for this project, as well as my my college football 26 content, both for my simulation videos and my 28 team college football playoff projection videos. Those will come out. I think we still got about 4 more left coming up. The next one is coming up on the 19th of November, and then 26th, followed by December 3rd. And then December 7th will be the selection show. That will probably be out around 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm actually going to premiere that one as well. And that's going to do it, guys. The final score of this game, the Milwaukee Bucks all over the Philadelphia 76ers, 116-88. I am Vinny from V-Dub Productions, signing off.